Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Friends, Assalamu alaikum. I'm going to be relatively brief. You know, it was Lenin who said that there are decades when nothing happens, and then there are weeks when decades happen. And we're privileged that we've lived and live in an era when we've seen weeks when decades have happened. If we look back, not that long ago, who would have thought that Reagan and Gorbachev would shake hands, perestroika ensue, the Berlin Wall come tumbling down? Who would have thought that Mandela and de Klerk would shake hands, apartheid come tumbling down? Who would have thought that Rabin and Arafat would shake hands and bring hope to the Middle East? Who would have thought Trimble, Adams and Hume would sign something called the Good Friday Agreement and bring lasting peace to Northern Ireland? Who would have thought in 2008 the Democratic presidential nominee would be a chap called Barack Obama, whose middle name would be Hussein, and he'd be an African-American Christian? But you know, change isn't always a positive thing. Who would have thought after some 50 years and the loss of 6 million Jewish lives, Europe would once more witness the horrors of extreme hatred and nationalism as we saw in Kosovo, Bosnia and elsewhere? And I'm very proud of the fact that just a few weeks ago I was in Kosovo pledging £100 million over the next 3 years to help rebuild Kosovo. Who would have thought after some 41 years and 61 years respectively, issues such as Kashmir and Palestine would be unresolved? Who would have thought we would have seen 9/11, 7/7, Madrid, Bali, Istanbul, the list goes on. And in this new enlightened millennium, who would have thought that there'd still be 1 billion people living on less than $1 a day, that every 3 seconds a child would die from poverty, and every minute a woman would die either giving birth or through pregnancy-related causes, and that 72 million children wouldn't have a primary school to go to. Although I'm now Minister for Justice, working alongside the Lord Chancellor, Jack Straw, who sends his good wishes, I was until 3 weeks ago Minister for International Development. The UK is leading the world in helping the poorest people in the poorest countries around the world. While I was International Development Minister, I was proud that we were able to work with many Muslim countries to help alleviate poverty. And I was the first British minister to attend the Organisation of Islamic Conferences Islamic Summit. It's also been a privilege working with Islamic Relief, Muslim Aid, Muslim Hands and many others. Come on, a round of applause for the Muslim NGOs. I've worked with these people and others, changing lives and saving lives, as I have with Arab donors. This work has shown the true face of Islam. Nowhere was that better shown perhaps at the Food Summit, where the world came together in Rome in June this year to help those that were starving. And the donation by Saudi Arabia, the economists called remarkable, $500 million. My work as International Development Minister has resulted over the next 3 years with the UK assisting Bangladesh to the tune of £370 million, Pakistan, inshallah, £480 million, Palestine, inshallah, £243 million, Yemen in excess of £100 million, not to mention Sudan and Somalia. I was recently in Bangladesh where I met a young girl, 11 years old. She works every day that God sends. She works 5 hours a day. But because of an educational program we've got there in Bangladesh, she was able to get release from her employer to engage in education. And I tell you, her aspirations for her children were absolutely phenomenal. Very different to what they would have been had she not been able to engage in education. I went to visit a slum in Dhaka in Bangladesh, in a place called Mirpur, where we'd invested in 3 toilets, flush toilets, which was the biggest thing that's happened in that slum. Everybody was over the moon. Those 3 toilets are shared by over 160 people. If you can imagine in this country, in a single home sometimes you have 3 toilets. In that slum, in Mirpur, in Dhaka, in Bangladesh, over 160 people were actually sharing 3 flush toilets. How privileged we are. I was also very proud of the fact that I was able to secure £90 million for Pakistan, which inshallah will help to save the lives of 30,000 women and 350,000 children across Pakistan. Martin Luther King once said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." And as Justice Minister, I'm determined to make this country an even fairer society. I'm proud of the achievements of the Muslims of this country from '97. In 1997, we got our first Muslim MP. In 2001, we had 2 Muslim MPs. In 2005, we had 4 Muslim MPs. Inshallah, in 2009-10, we'll have 8 Muslim MPs. In 2014, we'll have 16 Muslim MPs. At this rate, the whole Parliament will be Muslim. But just to say, in case there are journalists here today, that is not my objective. But you know, we've got 4 Muslim MPs. There should be 20 Muslim MPs in Parliament. And inshallah, very shortly we'll see that. And I'm confident, as Britain's first Muslim minister, that inshallah, in the next 30 years or so, we'll see a Prime Minister in this country who happens to share my faith. I want to just wind up by saying, because I can see people saying, "Shahid, hurry up." But once you get a politician on, it's not that easy to get them off. But I just want to say very quickly, we have some challenges in my current job as Minister of Justice. Over 11% of the prison population is Muslim. 3% of the population in the UK is Muslim. Over 11% of the prison population is Muslim. 1 in 4 is drug-related. Whose responsibility is that? Not just ours, but certainly ours as well. Big challenge. Education, I've spoken about. I want to just wind up with an anecdote, which really, I was doing a radio interview and somebody rang in and they said, "It's a disgrace, Mr. Malik, that the English can celebrate their culture, the Welsh can celebrate their culture." Actually, that means I probably haven't got time for my anecdote. But what I do want to say is, I want to thank Muhammad Ali and the Islam Channel. I want to say to everybody here, thank you for coming. Today we're showing the true face of Islam, not the face all too often we see in the media. Keep up the good work, you guys and Islam Channel, and inshallah, our future in this country is very bright. Thank you very much.